finish and then hand it to Congressman Waltz. And then when he's done, we'll do Q&A.
Afghanistan. Yes. Were you the last person in the room? Yes. And you feel comfortable? I do. She agreed with his decision-making 100%.
That decision was to pull all of our military out first, to close down Bagram Air Base, to leave Americans behind.
Kamala Harris has touted her role on Afghanistan policy. Now she owns it too.
On the issue of Afghanistan, we have seen a successful drawdown of the embassy, and thankfully, without any American casualties. Our highest priority right now is evacuating American citizens. We have made significant progress in that regard. It is a dangerous and difficult mission, but it must be seen through, and we intend to see it through as best as we can.
What happened? What was the exit strategy? When you were that last person in the room, what was told, okay, worst case scenario, if this happens and our Americans are trapped, what is our plan?
Yeah, what was that plan?
What we saw tonight is the president making a very clear contrast with Donald Trump on all of the issues that matter to the American people.
Truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world.
That was President Biden's very false claim about no U.S. troops dying overseas during his time in office, disregarding the 13 service members killed in Afghanistan during the chaotic withdrawal.
Afghanistan.
Yes.
Were you the last person in the room?
Yes.
And you feel comfortable? I do.
There's no words to explain how much disrespect we have gotten, how disrespected we feel.
Murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history.
So with the third anniversary here, we thought it'd be a poignant reminder that the Harris-Biden failure actually cost American lives. And last night you heard a lot from the Democrats. Several speakers talked about the word empathy. You have to ask yourself, or maybe you should ask Kamala Harris, where's the empathy in the fact that they have yet to express the names out loud of the folks that were lost in the Abbey Gate failure? Where's the empathy for the families that are left behind by such failure? Of course, you can't ask Kamala Harris those questions because they continue not to talk to the media. They continue to gaslight America and run this halo effect campaign that tries to reinvent her as distanced from the terrible failures like what we just saw. So to talk more about these issues, I welcome Congressman Mike Waltz.
Well, good morning. And just to add to what Brian was saying, 3 years ago this week that all of that was going on in Afghanistan, that disgrace, that debacle, that stain on our national conscience, and I think on American history. Steve Nakui, who really just got so emotional, so angry, and so frustrated, he yelled out in the middle of the State of the Union because not only has Biden gone through now 4 years and not said the word Afghanistan, he's never said his son's name, he's never said any of the 13 service members' names. Steve's other son, so distraught at the loss of his brother, killed himself at his son's graveside. The moral injury, not only to those families, but to every veteran, to all of us who sacrifice so much time, treasure, our lives, my Green Berets that I think about every day. It's one thing to lose your men or women in combat, that happens, but to lose it due to incompetence and to literally idiotic and asinine decision making out of that White House is something we as a veterans community, and certainly me, as long as I'm in this position and I have a breath, will never let them forget. And she owns it. She owns it. She was proud of it. She bragged about it. And now to try to pretend it didn't happen, to not even acknowledge it so far this week, and we won't hear the term Afghanistan. You'll hear Trump hundreds of times, but you won't hear any ownership of that debacle out of any one of the speakers this week. And so what was happening 3 years ago? Well, with Harris standing by Biden's side, he was saying, what do you mean? This was an outstanding success. No. There are less than 100 Americans who want to leave and who can't, which, by the way, that figure was quietly revised months later to be over 800. And we still don't know even how many of those that we've gotten out. Over 150,000 of our allies left behind. And at the current rate that they're still doddering along and trying to get them out, it'll take 12 years to get our people out. And the Taliban are hunting them down right now as we speak, torturing, arresting, kidnapping. There are 3 Americans hostage right now in Afghanistan, held by the Taliban at the same time Biden and Harris provide billions of dollars in aid. These two wouldn't know leverage if it smacked them upside the head in terms of how to deal with a terrorist organization. How do you give an organization billions of dollars in aid while they're taking our own citizens hostage? I wish one of you could ask them that. That would be nice. I think that's fair for the American people to have asked. Look, I could go on, but the other thing that is happening right now as we speak in Afghanistan is terrorism is making a roaring comeback. Al-Qaeda is resurgent. They are developing training camps. ISIS is resurgent. There have been 6 plots thwarted in Europe. Well, 7 now if we count the Taylor Swift concerts. And, oh, by the way, let's not forget the 8 ISIS operatives who were arrested in 3 American cities right here in the United States just a few months ago that came across our wide open southern border, that were smuggled there by an ISIS ring, and that we're looking at various sites to hit on the anniversary of the Pulse nightclub attack that happened back in 2016, right on the edge of my district. So that just occurred. Hezbollah is here. Hamas is here. Well, heck, I mean, Hamas is sitting right down the street, right amongst the protests where they're flying Hamas and Hezbollah flags. I mean, how would we be responding if they were flying ISIS flags? And why are we responding as a society and as a government differently? Because they're all one and the same in terms of organizations. So they are here. Another attack. Biden and Harris's own FBI director has repeatedly said is imminent and just a matter of when, not if, because of the failed policies of this administration that she's proud of. So Afghanistan was the original sin. Putin got the green light between lifting sanctions on Nord Stream 2, between saying, well, maybe a minor incursion, we won't respond as badly, between having awarding Putin with a summit after Russian hackers shut down gas on our eastern seaboard, and after Putin invaded Georgia under George Bush, the country of Georgia, invaded Crimea under Obama, didn't invade anyone under Trump because deterrence was established and worked, but knew he could get away with it again with Obama 2.0 in the Biden administration. And we now have the largest land war in World War II. So terrorism is on the march again. Putin is on the march. Xi is on the march. Didn't see spy balloons hovering over our nuclear bomber sites, our nuclear command and control sites, and our stealth facilities under Donald Trump. You saw it for days on end under Biden and Harris. She's sitting in every National Security Council meeting where Biden is making these decisions. She's proud to say she's the last in the room before making all of these decisions. She owns that too. Kim Jong-un expanding his nuclear arsenal. The Middle East. Donald Trump left the Middle East better off than he found it. He was the first president in modern history for that to happen. ISIS largely defeated and contained. Iran broke, couldn't pay their terrorist proxies, according to the terrorist proxies. Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis complaining that they're running out of cash because it had all dried up coming out of Tehran. And literally Nobel Peace Prize worthy.
That was Trump ally Representative Mike Waltz speaking on national security.
The former president and his running mate J.D. Vance will hold a joint event in North Carolina this afternoon, and that's part of a series of his campaign's events in battleground states, running to counter the DNC this week.